my wine? I want a brown one. Give me a brown one, wine.
Well, Miss Waynetta might have a wish come true, because if word on the street, because I come from the streets, is true, then Rings of Power Season 2 will have yet another race-swapped character. You might not know this story. I heard about it 2 days ago, but of course, moi is going to give you his usual hilarious spin on things. So sit back, take a cup of coffee, take a deep breath, and let's roll on with this absolute trash fire of a story today. So, from bounding into comics, Sauron's original form will be possibly race swapped. So Rings of Power, what, it got 37% viewership when it was released last year because nobody was remotely interested. Could this have been a good show? Yes, if you're stuck to the core source material, it might have been a good show. The original Lord of the Rings trilogy are my go-to daddies and mummies. I don't care about anything else that came afterwards. Yeah, the Hobbit films were okay, but again, you brought in Toriel as played by Evangeline Lilly, who was just a made-up character for the sake of, more female girl boss power, but here we go. In seemingly confirming that the studio has learned nothing from the backlash to their disrespecting of Professor Tolkien's iconic novels, the latest whispers among the Shire suggest that the Amazon hub has cast budding actor, that's so racist, Gavi Singh Chera, to portray the titular villain's original form in the upcoming second season of, wait for it, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. This casting rumor was first raised to the many kingdoms of men, courtesy of a December the 24th exclusive from the LOTR fan site, Fellowship of the Fans. Not fans only, because that's a different thing altogether. According to the outlet's editor, Francesco Leonetti, the universally unwanted second season for Rings of Power will see the undeclared war and Mother Teresa and Me actor play the original form. Oh, they know it's the original form of Sauron. Okay, I got it. Version of the character, which is meant to be angelic and ethereal per sources. In flashback scenes, original from Sauron will have long manes of hair. He detailed of the Dark Lord's upcoming on-screen presence, while in present-day scenes in Eregion, he apparently has shorter hair.
If, Sauron is hot, I feel like people will be like, I can fix him.
Oh, Sauron, I want to make you gay. Oh, I'm going to turn Sauron homoerotica. Oh. So this is the gentleman in question, Gavi Singh Chera, because yes, we've got Muslim representation with Riz Ahmed in acting. Now let's get the Sikh representation with Mr. Chera. Now, as per Tolkien's writings, The Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth, Christopher Tolkien said when Sauron finally chose to don said guise, he would do so by wearing the fairest form that he could contrive. Now, what does that tell you? When did Professor Tolkien write The Lord of the Rings? What was around him at the time? You're not sure? Okay, just pick up a history book in the library and have a peruse and see what you come out with. And again, we're not saying that other ethnicities didn't exist at that time, just not in the kingdom that was forged by Mr. Tolkien. And of course, speaking of forging, Celebrimbor, apparently we're going to see him in the second season forging the rings. So that's going to be very interesting. I guess Peter Jackson did a lackluster job of explaining that to us in the original trilogy. But of course, now if you go to the IMDb profile of Mr. Cheerer, there is Mother Teresa and Me, The Undeclared War, The Lazarus Project, which made me groan when I saw the poster, Temple, Hard Pass, Vera. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Rings of Power will be the 10th project that Mr. Cheerer gets involved with. However, if you go to the National Youth Theatre's YouTube channel, Mr. Cheerer has a video which is approximately 3 minutes and 4 seconds long, but I won't be focusing on the first part of that video. I am more interested in what happens at 1 minute and 38 seconds. So let the mayhem begin.
Oh my God.
So by the way, Playing Up, if you want to know what that is, that's the name of the National Youth Theatre's drama course that you can enroll on. And I might want to crank the volume up for this because, believe it or not, this gets really, really bad.
You get to be in a play in a theatre. You get to be with people who are, some of them are going through really similar things to you.
So far, I'm kind of feeling for the guy. Yeah, why would you join this play theatre group? You get to join up with people who are going through similar things to you. I'm thinking, oh, okay, teenage angst, social identity. Yeah, I kind of see where this might be going, because back in my day, you know, Gen X, the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, that's what you would be doing if you were enrolling yourself into I suppose, a socially angst rehabilitation group for teenagers.
For people like me who are Asian or...
Let me read this to you, folks, because I think you like me when I read these things out to you. For people like me who are Asian, or, you know, non-white, because quite clearly when you say you're Asian, you are automatically non-white, unless, of course, you're interbred, and that's a different story altogether. You're doing an acting course, usually with people who are from, I can't wait to see the next part.
Or, you know, non-white. You're doing an acting course usually with people who are from a similar background to you,
whether they're also Asian or black or people of color as well. So, Mr. Singh, Cheerer, do one of the other people of color as well happen to be white, or is it just people of color?
Also Asian or black or people of color, as well as everyone on that course is usually working class.
So we're bringing in John Osborne's working class system from Look Back in Anger. John Osborne, if you don't know, he was an acclaimed British playwright. I'm speaking of him in the past tense. I'm hoping he's still alive, but he wrote these very angry plays, like Look Back in Anger is the most famous one, which, funny enough, I actually did a reading of back in my days at college, where my whole reading was shouting all the dialogue, because that's how the character is. He's really, really pissed off. So we're bringing in the working class, right? So if you're a jobbing thespian who happens to be white and you're from the middle or upper class, they have an advantage. So you're disadvantaged by being working class, and therefore you might have a better chance. Bob Hoskins was from a working class background. Didn't stop him from acting, did it?
So there's that similarity. And yeah, you know...
You know, when I see this guy, I mean, he's screaming Sauron, isn't he? I mean, I sat there as the casting director and I thought, that's our Sauron right there. Ooh, give it to me, baby.
If, like, Sauron is hot, I feel like people will be like, I can fix him.
And it can really, if you're really interested in acting, it can really, like, launch you.
Yeah, so if you're down and out, if you're depressed because society's woes are getting on top of you because of your gender or your ethnicity, you can join acting. I mean, you can get in there and become part of something that will launch you into the stratosphere, because, hey, it's not about your skill as an actor or an actress. It's about your social anxiety behind the scenes and how you might manifest those in the real world. It can really launch you. You know what acting can do for you, Mr. Singh, Cheerer? It can actually bring out your confidence. That's what it's there for, is to make you a different person, an adult pretender, as Gary from Nerdrotic likes to say. It's not about launching you and bringing out a message. Nobody wants that.
It's an amazing platform. I honestly believe it's the best course the National Youth Theatre offer, and also one of the best courses that can be found in this Great Britain.
It can be found in this Great Britain or Britain. What? What? Dude, don't you know if you're living in a great country or not? Look, I've got my issues with the UK, but honestly, if you're sat there in front of a camera and you're not sure how to identify the place that you were born in, my God, dude, I mean, this guy, I think he's actually got some awkward issues.
Britain. So yeah, really encourage you to go for it. Please go for it. Wow,
he encourages you. He implores you to go for it. So honestly, I don't know what to think about this. I mean, to me personally, if I see this kind of news, yeah, I mean, like some people on Geeks and Gamers now, Jeremy, he's actually said it recently as well. He's getting fed up of reacting to news like this because why are we not surprised anymore? Am I going to move away from this type of content? Maybe eventually, but right now, every time I see these type of news items all over the place, I just have to think to myself, what the fuck is going on? I've got to say something about it. And of course, whether my point of view gets out there and people listen and resonate, that's going to be another question altogether, but I get so fed up. In fact, the BBC has had a lot of criticism in the last few days regarding their woke Doctor Who. And apparently with that show, there's going to be Gen Z elements coming into it because it's going to be controversial. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that's Doctor Who. It's about a Time Lord from Gallifrey who goes on wonderful adventures with his female assistants, getting into scrapes with the Daleks or the Cybermen or whoever else he finds along the way. Not about, hey, you know what? We're going to go back in time to Rosa Parks and we're going to talk about how bad racism is because, you know, I'm a doctor of color. But yeah, this is what we've gotten to, isn't it? Because I don't blame people for calling out the BBC. I might make a video about that particular article as well, actually, because it's very interesting reading. So I do wish Mr. Singh the best. I don't actually blame him for shoehorning himself into the role of Sauron, because quite clearly the morons who run the Rings of Power at Amazon know what they're doing. Apparently, if you watch the original Lord of the Rings, it makes you a racist because you don't appreciate anything else of value, and they're just trying to turn the tide. And it's kind of funny that it's a lot of white people who are advocating for race-swapped characters. Isn't that funny? And then, of course, if you bring the right casting directors on who might be non-white, according to Mr. Shearer, then you kind of got your message of power right there. They should call it message of power, Lord of the Rings, because quite clearly nothing about this spells anything to me except another disaster for Amazon. In fact, I'm going to make a grim prediction now. If the first season was 37% of viewership, I think this second season will probably be 30%. You know, you've got Reacher, you've got The Terminal List. Those shows are killing it for Amazon, and they're non-woke. And you know what? They're simplified pieces of entertainment that go out of their way to shock horror, entertain the subscription payers for Amazon and Jeff Bezos' very big pockets. And on that one, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit the like button below, smash that subscribe button, and if I were you and if you were me, you better come back for the next video.
Thank God it's
All the other mums have got at least one brown baby, and I want one. And for that I need a big black man, and that ain't you, eh?